Of course, there are other types of chords besides the major, minor, dominant, and half diminished. In the last video, I mentioned two others, the diminished and the augmented. These chords are not found in the major scale, but are often used nevertheless. First, let's look at these chords on the keyboard. We'll use A as our root note. A major 7 is A, C sharp, E, G sharp. All four notes naturally occur in the A scale. A dominant 7 is A, C sharp, E, G. The 1, 3, and 5 notes are the same as the major chord, but the 7 note has moved a half step down to the flat 7. A minor 7 is A, C, E, G. The 1 and 5 notes are still the same, but now the 3 note has moved a half step down as well as the 7 note. The A half diminished is A, C, D sharp, G. Now the 5 note has moved the half step down. This, by the way, is also called the A minor 7 flat 5, because it's the A minor 7 with the 5 note flatted. When we come to the A diminished chord, we might expect the last shoe to drop, that the 1 note would now move down a half step to join the other 3. But if the 1 note moved down, it wouldn't be an A chord anymore. Instead, we would get an A flat chord, A flat, C, E flat, G, which is A flat major 7. By the way, the 5 notes that are played on the black keys have two names. The C sharp can also be D flat, the D sharp can be E flat, the F sharp can be G flat, the G sharp can be A flat, and the A sharp can be B flat. It depends on which key you're in. So in the A diminished chord, the 7 note moves down again, and the chord becomes A, C, D sharp, F sharp. As the chords move from major 7 to diminished, the distance between the notes is contracting. Let's look at this on the circle. A major 7 looks like this. A dominant 7 looks like this, with the 7 note moving to the flat 7. A minor 7 looks like this, with the 3 note moving to the flat 3. A half diminished looks like this, with the 5 note moving to the flat 5. Now with the A diminished chord, the 7 note moves down again. This is the shape of a diminished chord. It's symmetrical, so not only is this A diminished, it's also C diminished, D sharp diminished, and F sharp diminished. Remember the similarity between the dominant 7 chord shape and the half diminished chord shape? The dominant 7 chord also seems to be half of a diminished chord. But if we look at what happens moving from the A7 chord to the A diminished chord, we can see that the 3, 5, and 7 notes are entirely different. This is because the A is not part of the diminished chord pattern, whereas the A is part of the pattern in the half diminished chord shape. With the augmented chord, say A augmented, the distance between the notes expands. Again, A major 7 is A, C sharp, E, G sharp, all notes that naturally occur in the A scale. For A augmented, the 1 and 3 notes stay the same, but the 5 note moves up a half step. This is the shape of an augmented chord. Like the diminished chord, it's symmetrical, so this is A augmented, but also is F augmented and C sharp augmented. Sometimes the 7 note is included, which defines which note is the root of the chord. Adding the 7 note also adds a tritone. Two other chords found in the major scale are pretty interesting. These are the major 6 and the minor 6. To take a look at these, we'll use D as our root note. D major 7 is D, F sharp, A, C sharp. D major 6 is D, F sharp, A, B, where the 7 note, C sharp, is replaced by the 6 note, B. On the circle, we see D major 6 looks like this. But this is the shape of a minor 7 chord. In fact, it is a minor 7 chord. It's B minor 7. Remember that the 2nd, 6th, and 3rd notes of a major scale produce minor chords. The 6th note is called a relative minor because it shares the same notes as the 1-note chord. So these are the notes of both the D major 6 and the B minor 7. Looking at the D minor 6, we see something similar going on. D minor 7 is D, F, A, C, and D minor 6 is D, F, A, B, with the 7 note C moving down to the 6 note B. The D minor 6 has the same shape as the half diminished chord. In fact, These are also the notes of the B half-diminished chord. The major 6 and minor 6 chords are portals to other chord qualities, and the diminished and augmented chords are portals to other keys.